Welcome to Front Porch Lawyer, where we address the humanity of lawyering. Many attorneys are winning battles in the courtroom, but losing battles in their lives. From interpersonal relationships to stress management, Front Porch Lawyer explores topics that improve your practice, your lifestyle, and even your love life. Leave feeling a little more inspired with a smile on your face. Here's your host, Francine Tone.
Hi, I'm Francine Tone, and welcome to my front porch and Front Porch Lawyer. And yes, this is my front porch. Front Porch Lawyer was born out of COVID-19 home sheltering because I am, like you, at home. At home, but still working. Seems lawyers work no matter what happens in the world. And I'm an appellate law specialist, certified by the California State Bar Board of Legal Specialization, and records are still coming in even though trials have been canceled. But this shutdown has impacted me because all my speaking engagements have been canceled because events have been canceled. That includes CLE programs as well as other speaking engagements where I speak about work-life integration, and I conduct leadership and emotional intelligence training that help lawyers become more effective in their practice and in their lives. So I asked myself, how could I reach you and get this information to you now that we're all at home? And Front Porch Lawyer was born, a series of videos to get training to you that will improve your practice and your lifestyle. For example, stress is one of the topics that I cover. Now, we've all heard the stories of that lawyer who committed suicide or became a drug addict or took all the trust money and ran off to Mexico. I'm not talking about those extreme cases, many of who were victims of out-of-control chronic stress for very long periods of time. But I'm talking about the normal lawyer, like you and me, who experience stressors every day that you don't even know about. You know that saying, you don't know what you don't know? I've discovered that lawyers don't realize how much stress they're really under every single day because it is their normal. I have an entire CLE program on chronic stress that every lawyer suffers every day and how it impacts you physiologically, including your brain. Now, lawyers who sit through this course come up to me afterwards and they tell me they're surprised that they were actually living in a lot more stress than they ever realized. Life as a lawyer doesn't have to be harried, hurried, and relentlessly busy. I had that life once and not anymore. There's a better way, and we can make practicing law humane. Front Porch Lawyer was created to get the training to you to develop better skills to manage what you must as a lawyer, to integrate life and thrive, not just survive. Listen, if you don't have 11 minutes in a day to set aside for tips that will improve your life, you definitely need Front Porch Lawyer. And if you do have those 11 minutes, follow along, because my videos will supplement whatever else you're doing to create a fulfilling, integrated life. Now, I can't give you CLE credit for these short videos or the upcoming live streaming training because I'm not keeping track of your attendance. But I can promise this. What Front Porch Lawyer shares with you will help you become a better lawyer and have a better life. Now, there are some basic beliefs that I operate from, and I want to share them with you so that you know where I'm coming from. First, I'm heavily into brain science. Later, you'll learn why I got into brain science, but almost everything I cover will get you back to brain science. You'll hear about emotional intelligence, soft skills, and people skills, the skills they don't teach us in law school. I reference these competencies because they're backed by brain science. The emotional intelligence training will improve many skills such as persuasion, negotiation, problem solving, decision making, stress management, and stress tolerance, just to name a few. And by the way, emotional intelligence is nothing new. It's old as dirt. The term is relatively new, coined in the 70s, and it's popular these days. But I approach it like Aristotle and Lao Tzu, the ancient philosophers, because I don't believe there's anything new under the sun except the brain science. 2, I don't believe in magic. I work on life integration, not balance, but I don't rely on things that take extreme views about life. My go-to philosophy is moderation in all things, Aristotle. I don't talk about the law of attraction or feeling positive all the time because science doesn't back that up. 3, I believe in action. You can listen to inspirational and motivational speeches all day long, and they will make you feel good, but that's temporary. They won't help you get from where you are to where you want to go. I believe in your history because it gives you a lesson and framework but it doesn't define you. We don't wallow in personal history, and I have a pretty horrible personal history. And you'll hear some of it later, but these are because they're lessons from that history that led me to action as a key to effecting life. And it explains why I believe that you have the power to take action that makes a massive difference in your life, especially when you are armed with effective tools. And finally, I believe in you, the lawyer, and what you stand for. In December 1989, I began practicing law. Everyone in Northern California who passed the June 1989 bar received a letter saying, "Come to this auditorium in San Francisco and you will be sworn in by a California Supreme Court Justice." That sounded pretty good. But my husband Jeff, a veteran lawyer of over 15 years, had a completely different idea. He called our court and arranged for me to be sworn in by one of our local Superior Court judges during a Monday morning law motion calendar. So we went to court that morning, and there were almost 50 cases on calendar. So the courtroom was packed with almost 100 lawyers, standing room. The buzz of conversation filled the courtroom, and as I looked around, I made a note that half of these lawyers were in disagreement with the other half, and they had come to do some battle in law motion. I quietly slipped into a seat behind the bar next to my husband. The judge entered. The room hushed as the bailiff said, "All rise." The judge began the normal announcements made before the calendar was called. And when he was done, the judge said, "This morning, we have one more item before we call the calendar." And he informed everyone that a new lawyer was being sworn in today, and the judge recognized Jeff. Jeff stood up and introduced me to the court. The judge invited me to literally pass the bar and stand before the bench. The judge made a few remarks and swore me in. The room was completely silent. After the judge finished swearing me in, he said, "I'd like to introduce Francine Tone, the newest member of our bar." As I turned around, every attorney who was there to do battle stood up, smiled, and applauded. And they kept applauding as I walked past the bar and out the courtroom. I had never forgotten that moment. Everyone came together. They were one bar, and I saw a room full of noble lawyers. I really do believe we are part of a noble profession. We heard about it in law school. We heard about it at graduation. I witnessed it that day when I was sworn in. And I still believe this. And as a noble profession, it means not working yourself into the ground. You aren't doing yourself or a client a service by burning the candle at both ends. Just as you're told on the airplane to put your mask on first before helping others, you must be kind to yourself first so you can be present, alert, and fully functional when it's your turn to help others. And as a noble lawyer, I know you advocate for your client. And when you hit the courthouse, it's showtime. It's time for peak performance. But here's the problem. When you are working yourself to the bone, you are not optimizing your performance, and you are cheating yourself and possibly your client. Stick with me. You won't regret it. And by the way, that was probably my local blue jay squawking, because I've got a couple of really aggressive blue jays who love my front porch. So in my videos, you might see them squawking through and trying to knock me off my porch at times. So let's turn your life into an amazingly fulfilling life where you have the passion for practice and the passion for your life. A life where you will always perform optimally. Follow me on LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube so you don't miss any of these Front Porch Lawyer videos and training. And all three channels are called the same. It's Francine Tone, so I'm easy to find. I'm not going to send you emails because more emails in your inbox is the source of stress, and that's something I'm trying to help you reduce. So for today, though, I want to leave you with something. I want to leave you with a thought designed to shoot feel-good chemicals through your brain that counteract stress chemicals. Write this down and read it anytime. Boy, he's really noisy today. And I want you to read this, especially when something happens that you don't like. Here's what it is. Write this down. You are a member of a noble profession. You have already earned massive kudos for doing what it took to get where you are. So remember this. Now, go follow me so you get these videos. Thank you for joining me on my front porch with my local blue jay. This is Francine Tone with Front Porch Lawyer, and I'll see you next time.